So here we are again. This is going to be a quick video about my 3000 watt resistor, obviously, but this time I turned it into a snow melter on my porch, and I ran 100 feet of tubing under my porch and then pumped coolant through it and then pumped it through the 3000 watt heat exchanger, the electric heat exchanger, and made a radiator system. So it's really cool, but it melted down. Unfortunate. And I got it all on video, mostly. So, enjoy. Flute. So it flows out there. Let me describe what happened. So, I had a pump hooked up in a reservoir of coolant, and then that pump would pump the antifreeze coolant through the heat exchanger, the 3000 watt radiator, big resistor in a pipe that I made earlier, and it actually didn't melt down or break, so I decided to use it for something. And then that, after exiting the radiator, the heater, that coolant would be pumped through a tube that I'd nailed under my porch on studs, basically. And I wasn't sure if it would work or not, you know. And it was really cool, actually, because you'd start the pump up and you'd see the coolant was very viscous at first because it's antifreeze. And then once it warmed up from the heater, it would actually start to pump faster and faster and faster. I think I used 1/2-inch pipe. I think I got 100 feet of plastic 1/2-inch pipe for like 30 bucks at the hardware store. Ideally, I think I'd want more. But so what happened was I went out to shovel and I turned it on. It runs off 240 volts. So I turned it on, and when you plug it in, the pump instantly turns on, and then I put a switch on it. So you switch the switch, and that initiates the radiator. So at first you're just pumping cold coolant. It runs off about 4 gallons of antifreeze. And I let it run for I think about an hour. I'd have to go check. And it started to heat up, and it gets hot enough where it actually starts to make vapor come out of the reservoir, so it gets pretty warm. I think the rate is 3 degrees Fahrenheit per minute, but that's just for the volume of fluid in the tubes. It would be a little slower, I think, for the 4 gallons. So I was shoveling, and I look behind me and I see this huge plume of steam, you know, billowing up from my porch, and I was like, that's a little too much steam. So I went and checked it out, and then I realized the exhaust pipe, the exit pipe for the hot water, where the pipe connects to the radiator, had like fallen off or blown off. And so I turn the radiator off, and there's just a little bit of fluid dribbling out of the radiator at this point, and the whole reservoir has been pumped out into the ground, which is probably not good. And but I flipped it off, and I poured some more antifreeze on the pump to try to, you know, in case the radiator hadn't melted itself yet, to cool it off, as it lost coolant, you know. And I drive the resistors at 3 times their rated power rating in air in the pipe. I have 10 resistors in a line, and when the radiator's operating at, you know, 2800 watts, each resistor is pumping out something like 260 watts, and they're only 100 watt resistors, but they're in fluid, so it's all right. So, and the pipe only fell out, and me shutting the resistors down only was 4 minutes. So, but I think they probably melted themselves apart much sooner. And by that I mean I think the solder connections between each resistor probably liquefied and then came apart or broke. That'd be good. So we'll check it out.
This major maritime crisis is rocking the Middle East.
Who designed the Panama Canal to run out of water? Wow. So I took the radiator in from the outside, and somehow it actually is still working. I mean, I don't know if it'll work, but it's still 20 ohms. Let's see if you can look down that. Not really. So the fact that this is still 20 ohms is pretty amazing. Now, maybe we'll run it and it will break again. I wonder what saved it, because I'm pretty sure it should have melted. So it's like a giant flute. This flute. But yeah. I think what I'm going to do is add some sort of quick link connection here. So the problem last time was the connections here and here were fast, not good engineers. So, but the fact this survived 4 minutes with lackluster coolant, you know, the water was just dribbling out of the end of this at like half level. It must have been enough to keep it cool possibly, so that's pretty amazing. Cool. So we're gonna put it back on. Maybe I'll get some more piping and I'll actually try to melt some snow next time it snows, because that would be a cool video. Okay. Thanks for watching. Have a good time.